I'll write the first part of your story in 800 words using simple English and Korean names. Here's part 1. Nari stepped off the spacecraft and felt Earth's gravity pull on her slender frame. The air smelled different here, richer, filled with scents her home planet never had. As an Eldurian scientist, she had studied humans from afar for years, but being among them made her four-chambered heart beat faster. "Welcome to Seoul National Research Center," said the human guide. "Dr. Kim will meet you shortly." Nari adjusted her appearance modifier, making sure her skin tone matched the local population and her pointed ears were properly hidden. Her species had mastered interstellar travel centuries ago, but the humans were still unaware of alien life. The Eldurian High Council had authorized this mission with strict rules: observe, collect data, but never reveal their true purpose. The Eldurians were dying. Their birth rates had dropped to almost zero over the past 100 years. Their scientists had tried everything but failed. Humans, with their amazing genetic diversity and reproductive success, might hold the answer. Dr. Kim Tae-ho entered the room and Nari immediately noticed his strong build and confident walk. Humans were physically stronger than Eldurians, another trait her people had lost over thousands of years of technological dependence. "Dr. Nari, welcome to Earth," said Tae-ho with a warm smile, extending his hand. "Your credentials are impressive. We rarely get visiting scientists with your expertise in genetics." Nari took his hand, feeling an unexpected warmth spread through her fingers. Physical contact was rare among Eldurians. "Thank you for accepting my research proposal," she said, using the language translator hidden behind her ear. "I'm eager to study human genetic diversity." "Well, you've come to the right place," Tae-ho laughed. "Our lab has the most complete human genome database in Asia. What specific aspects interest you?" Nari had prepared for this question. "Adaptive mutations and reproductive success factors," she answered. "My home, country, has declining birth rates. We hope to learn from other populations." Tae-ho nodded. "A global concern, actually. Come, let me show you our facilities." As they walked through the laboratory, Nari discreetly scanned everything with the sensor in her eye. The Eldurian Council would receive this data tonight. The humans' technology was primitive compared to hers, but their approach to genetic research was surprisingly innovative. "This is where we map genetic variations," Tae-ho explained, showing her a room filled with machines. "And over here is our cell culture lab." Nari stopped at a window overlooking a hospital wing. "What happens there?" "That's our fertility clinic," Tae-ho said. "We help couples who struggle to have children." This was exactly what Nari needed to see. "May I observe the procedures?" "Of course." "That's actually my specialty," Tae-ho said with pride. "I developed a new technique for embryo selection that increased success rates by 30%. Nari's heart beat faster. This human might be more valuable than she had hoped. "Impressive," she said. "On my planet, in my country, such advances would change many lives." Later that day, as Tae-ho demonstrated his techniques, Nari felt something strange happening to her body. Her heart began beating irregularly, and her skin felt warm. Was this some human disease? Had she been exposed to something dangerous? "Are you feeling well?" Tae-ho asked, noticing her discomfort. "You look pale." "I'm fine," Nari lied, steadying herself against a table. "Just tired from travel." That evening in her temporary quarters, Nari analyzed her physical symptoms. The scanner showed nothing wrong, but her heart rate had definitely spiked near Tae-ho. Strange. She would need to monitor this reaction. She sent her first report to the Eldurian Council. "Human reproductive methods promising. Their genetic diversity exceeds our models. Subject Tae-ho possesses valuable knowledge. Will proceed with information gathering." The Council's response came quickly. "Good work. Get closer to this human. Learn everything. Remember, the survival of our species depends on this mission." Nari looked out her window at the Seoul skyline, lights twinkling like stars. Humans lived such vibrant, emotional lives. They created art, music, and loved each other openly. Eldurians had lost these traits centuries ago, focusing only on logic and technology. As she prepared for sleep, Nari wondered about the strange feeling she'd experienced today. The medical database had no answers. Perhaps it was nothing serious, just her body adjusting to Earth. Tomorrow she would begin her real work, understanding how human genetics could save her dying species. She would need to get closer to Taeho, gain his trust and learn his secrets. The fate of all Eldurians depended on her success. What she didn't realize yet was that her irregular heartbeat had nothing to do with illness. It was something her species had almost forgotten how to feel, something humans experienced every day: emotion. Nari settled into her new laboratory at Seoul National University. After 2 weeks on Earth, she had learned to blend in well with humans. Her temporary quarters now felt almost comfortable, though the Earth gravity still made her bones ache by evening. "Good morning, Dr. Nari," Taeho said as he entered the lab. "Ready to start our genetic mapping project?" "Yes," Nari replied, activating the holographic display she had modified from human technology. "I've been analyzing the genome samples you provided." What she didn't tell him was that she had been comparing human genetic structures to Eldurian DNA all night. The differences were fascinating. Where Eldurian genes were uniform and stable, human DNA showed incredible variation and adaptability. This was why humans could live in deserts, mountains, and cold regions. It was also why they could have so many children. Taeho stood beside her, pointing at the display. "These markers here control immune response. My research shows they vary greatly between populations." Nari nodded, trying to ignore how close he stood. Again, that strange flutter in her heart began. She had checked her medical implant 3 times, but it showed no illness. Whatever this reaction was, it wasn't dangerous, just distracting. "What interests me most is reproductive viability," Nari said carefully. "How humans maintain genetic diversity while reproducing." Taeho looked at her with curiosity. "That's an unusual research focus. Most visiting scientists are interested in disease resistance or longevity." "My home faces a population crisis," Nari said, which wasn't a lie. "We need fresh approaches." For the next few hours they worked side by side, analyzing genetic sequences. Nari was careful to keep her questions scientific and not too focused on reproduction. She didn't want to raise suspicion. The Eldurian Council expected weekly reports, and so far she had little concrete data to share. "Let's take a break," Taeho suggested. "Have you tried Korean food yet?" The university cafeteria was crowded with humans. Nari had avoided such places, preferring to eat alone. Her dietary converter could process human food, but eating in public increased the risk of revealing her alien nature. "Try the kimchi," Taeho said, placing a small dish of red vegetables before her. "It's spicy but good." Nari took a small bite and immediately regretted it. Her sensitive taste receptors exploded with sensation. Her eyes watered and her face flushed. Taeho laughed. "Too spicy? Here, drink some water." As their fingers touched, passing the water cup, Nari felt that now familiar heart flutter again. It was becoming concerning how often this happened around Taeho. "Tell me about your home," Taeho said. "Where exactly are you from?" Nari had practiced this answer. "A small, island nation in the North Pacific, very isolated. We have unique genetic patterns due to centuries of limited outside contact." "Interesting. I don't recall any papers from researchers there." "We are private people," Nari said quickly. "But our birth rates have dropped dramatically. That's why I'm here." Later that afternoon, Dr. Hyun, the university dean, visited their laboratory. His eyes narrowed as he examined Nari's work. "Your research focus seems very specific, Dr. Nari," he said, looking at her computer screen. "Human reproductive genetics exclusively?" "It relates to my home country's problems," Nari explained. "And these comparative models?" Dr. Hyun pointed to diagrams Nari had forgotten to close. "These don't look like human baseline comparisons." Taeho looked confused. "What exactly are you comparing our genomes to?" Nari's heart raced. Not the pleasant flutter from before, but real panic. Theoretical. Models of genetic decline. My people's DNA has become too uniform over generations. Dr. Hyun didn't look convinced. I'd like a full report on your research objectives by tomorrow. After he left, Tae-ho turned to Nari. Is there something you're not telling me about your work? Nari needed to regain his trust. The mission depended on it. My people are dying, she said simply. Our reproduction rates have fallen so low that extinction is possible within a few generations. I'm looking for solutions in human genetic diversity. This partial truth seemed to satisfy him. That sounds serious. I wish you'd been honest from the start. I want to help. That night, Nari sent an encrypted message to the Eldurian Council. Human genetic patterns promising but complex. Need more time. Local authorities becoming suspicious. Primary human subject remains cooperative. Their reply was immediate. Time running out for our species. Accelerate research. Use any means necessary. Nari looked at their cold instructions and felt that strange heart flutter again. For the first time, she wondered if she was doing the right thing. 3 weeks into her research, Nari sat alone in the laboratory late at night. The blue glow from her modified computer cast strange shadows across her face as she reviewed the simulation results for the 5th time. The data couldn't be wrong. According to her calculations, human genetic material could potentially solve the Eldurian reproductive crisis. She zoomed in on the key genetic sequences that made humans so adaptable. Unlike Eldurians, whose genetic code had become rigid and uniform over millennia of selective breeding, humans possessed remarkable repair mechanisms at the cellular level. Their DNA could adapt to environmental changes within just a few generations. Still working? It's past midnight, said a voice behind her. Nari jumped, quickly switching the screen to a standard analysis program. Tae-ho stood in the doorway holding 2 cups of coffee. You scared me, she said, accepting the cup he offered. Yes, I've found something unexpected. Good unexpected or bad unexpected? Tae-ho asked, pulling up a chair beside her. Nari hesitated. She had grown to trust Tae-ho over these weeks. Would it be so wrong to share part of her findings? The Eldurian Council wanted results, not methods. Potentially good, she said carefully. I believe certain human genetic sequences could help solve my people's fertility problems. As she began explaining her theory in simplified terms, that familiar flutter returned to her heart. But this time it was stronger, almost painful. Nari pressed her hand to her chest. Are you okay? Tae-ho asked, noticing her discomfort. Yes, just tired, she lied. But the sensation intensified. A sharp pain shot through her chest. Tae-ho looked concerned. Your face is turning blue. Is that normal for your people? Nari couldn't answer. The pain was overwhelming now. Her vision blurred as she slid from her chair. Nari. Tae-ho caught her before she hit the floor. I'm calling medical help. No. Hospitals, she managed to whisper. Not safe. For me. Confusion crossed Tae-ho's face, but he nodded. My apartment is nearby. Can you walk? Somehow they made it to his small apartment near the university. Tae-ho helped Nari to his couch and brought her water. Tell me what's happening, he demanded. Your heart rate is visible through your skin. It's pulsing erratically. Nari knew she needed help. Her medical knowledge wasn't enough to diagnose this condition. My species, we call ourselves Eldurians, she said weakly. Our cardiovascular system isn't designed for strong emotions. Tae-ho stared at her. Species? Are you saying you're not human? With a shaky hand, Nari deactivated her appearance modifier. Her skin shifted to its natural pale blue tone. Her pointed ears emerged from beneath the holographic disguise. To his credit, Tae-ho didn't run away. After a moment of shocked silence, the scientist in him took over. Fascinating, he whispered. But right now we need to stabilize you. Describe your normal cardiac function. Through waves of pain, Nari explained Eldurian physiology. Their four-chambered hearts were efficient but rigid, designed for a species that had evolved away from strong emotions. Physical reactions to feelings, like fear, excitement, or attachment, could be dangerous. So these episodes happen when you feel emotional? Teho asked, connecting medical sensors to her wrist. Yes, Nari admitted. Usually when I'm working with you. Understanding dawned on Taiho's face. You're experiencing attraction, he said simply. Your body doesn't know how to process it. Nari had feared this conclusion, but hearing it spoken aloud made it real. Eldurians rarely formed emotional attachments. Their reproduction had been clinical and controlled for centuries, part of their current problem. As the pain slowly subsided, Teho brought her tea and sat beside her. Why are you really here, Nari? The full truth this time. Exhausted and vulnerable, Nari told him everything about the dying Eldurian population, the Council's desperate search for genetic solutions, and her mission to study human reproduction. So your people want human genetic material to save yourselves, Teho summarized. But you didn't come here to ask for our help. You came to take what you needed. That was the mission, Nari admitted. But I've come to question it. Humans are not the simple creatures our records described. You're complex emotional beings. Using your genetics without consent would be wrong. Teho was quiet for a long time. Finally, he said, there might be ethical ways to help your species. But first we need to help you. These cardiac episodes could kill you if they continue. As dawn broke over Seoul, Nari realized two important things. Her mission had fundamentally changed, and her heart problem wasn't going away anytime soon, not as long as she worked alongside Teho. The official car of the Eldurian Council arrived at Seoul National University without warning. Nari watched from the laboratory window as Commander Suk stepped out. Her human disguise perfectly crafted, but her stiff movements betraying her alien nature. Nari's heart immediately began its dangerous flutter. They found me, she whispered. Teho looked up from the genetic sequencer. Over the past week, since learning Nari's true identity, he had been helping her develop an ethical solution to the Eldurian problem. Their progress was promising but incomplete. Your superior? He asked. Nari nodded. Commander Suk expects results. If she discovers I've revealed myself to a human. Teho squeezed her hand reassuringly. We have partial results. Show her our synthetic gene therapy model. It's not perfect, but it proves we're making progress. The laboratory door slid open, and Commander Suk entered. Even in human form, she carried herself with cold authority. Scientist Nari, she said, in the Eldurian language. Your reports have been incomplete. The Council grows impatient. Nari bowed respectfully. Commander, may I present Dr. Kim Tae-ho? He has been assisting my research. Commander Suk's eyes narrowed. A human knows of our mission. This violates protocol. Dr. Kim's expertise has been invaluable, Nari explained quickly. We've developed a potential solution that doesn't require direct breeding. Tae-ho stepped forward. We've identified key gene sequences that could be synthesized and adapted for Eldurian physiology. No human exploitation necessary. Commander Suk ignored him, speaking again in their native tongue. The Council doesn't want alternatives. They want results. Our population dropped another 3% while you played scientist here. We need human genetic material, not theories. Nari felt her chest tighten as her heart began its dangerous rhythm. Commander, please listen. Taking human, genetic material without consent would be wrong. These people are sentient beings with rights. Rights? Commander Suk laughed coldly. Your time among humans has corrupted you. They are research subjects, nothing more. She pulled out a small device and pressed it against Taeho's arm. He winced as it drew blood. What are you doing? Nari cried. Taking what we came for, Commander Suk replied. This human's genetic material, plus samples from 50 others, will be enough to start. The collection ships are already in orbit. Taeho pulled away, pressing a hand to his bleeding arm. Collection ships? She plans to harvest genetic material from humans across the planet. Nari explained, horror spreading through her. Commander, this is wrong. We can find another way. The decision is made, Commander Suk stated flatly. I'm relieving you of duty. Your emotional contamination makes you unfit for this mission. She raised a communication device. Prepare for mass collection. Start with this research facility. Nari lunged forward, knocking the device from Suk's hand. The commander's face contorted with rage as she struck Nari across the face. Traitor, she hissed. Tai-Ho rushed to Nari's side. Your species is dying because you've forgotten how to feel, he told Commander Suk. Look at what you've become, willing to harm another species to save yourselves. Is that survival worth having? Commander Suk retrieved her device. Sentiment from a primitive species. Unsurprising. Nari felt a crushing pain in her chest, worse than any previous episode. Her heart was failing under the stress. As she collapsed, Tai-Ho caught her, his face twisted with concern. Nari, what's happening? Cardiac. Failure, she gasped. Eldurian, hearts, can't handle. Strong emotions. Through blurring vision, Nari saw Dr. Hyun enter the lab with security guards. The university dean had been suspicious of her research all along. What's going on here? Dr. Hyun demanded. Who authorized this blood collection? Commander Suk turned to face the newcomers, momentarily distracted. Tai-Ho seized the opportunity. Nari, listen to me. Your people need to feel again. That's the real problem, not your genetics. The solution isn't in our DNA, it's in remembering how to connect, how to care. As darkness closed in around her, Nari made a decision. With her remaining strength, she activated the emergency beacon hidden in her wrist device, not to signal the collection ships, but to transmit the truth to the Eldurian Council. Along with it went all the research she and Tai-Ho had completed on ethical genetic therapy. The last thing she heard was Tai-Ho's voice. Stay with me, Nari. Please stay. Nari opened her eyes slowly. Bright light made her blink. She was in a white room that smelled of cleaning products. A hospital. Someone had connected strange machines to her chest. Their steady beeping matched her heartbeat. You're awake, said Tai-Ho. He sat beside her bed, looking tired. Dark circles showed under his eyes. You've been unconscious for 3 days. Nari tried to speak, but her throat felt dry. Tai-Ho helped her drink water from a small cup. The council? She asked finally. They received your transmission, Tai-Ho explained. Your emergency message went to every Eldurian, not just the council. You exposed the whole plan. Nari's eyes widened. Commander Suk, under house arrest at the Eldurian embassy. Dr. Hyun helped us contain the situation. Only a few trusted humans know about your people now. Nari tried to sit up but felt weak. The machines beeped faster as her heart rate increased. Human doctors had somehow stabilized her condition, but she wasn't fully healed. How did you explain my blue skin and 4-chambered heart to the medical staff? She asked. Tai-Ho smiled. We didn't have to. Dr. Hyun brought in his sister. She's been Earth's secret liaison with alien visitors for 15 years. Apparently, we've had Eldurian visitors before, just not with your mission. This was shocking news. The council had told them humans knew nothing of alien life. More lies from our leaders, Nari whispered. A tall woman entered the room. She wore a simple white coat like other doctors, but Nari immediately recognized her as Eldurian. Her appearance modifier was perfectly calibrated, but the way she moved was unmistakable. I am Hana, the woman said in their language. Earth liaison and medical specialist. Your actions have caused quite a stir back home. Nari tried to look strong despite her weakness. They were planning to harm humans, Hana nodded. Yes, and thanks to your broadcast, every Eldurian now knows it. There has been what humans call political upheaval. The High Council has been dissolved. What? Nari couldn't believe it. Our people were shocked by the planned harvesting operation, Hana explained. Many had no idea how desperate our situation had become, or what extreme measures were being considered. Tai-Ho squeezed Nari's hand. Your research data was received too. The synthetic gene therapy concept is being developed further. A delegation of new Eldurian leaders will arrive tomorrow, Hana continued. They want to discuss official first contact with human governments. And they want to meet you, Nari, the scientist who chose ethics over orders. Later that evening, when Hana and the human doctors had left, Nari and Taiho sat quietly watching the sunset through the hospital window. Your heart seems stronger, Taiho observed, looking at the monitors. The doctors gave me medication to stabilize it, Nari explained. But they say the permanent solution is to let my body adapt naturally to emotions. And how do you feel about that? Taiho asked carefully. Nari smiled. Scared. Excited. My people have suppressed emotions for generations. Learning to feel again won't be easy. But worth it? Yes, she said. I think so. 6 months later, Nari stood before the newly formed Human Eldurian Cooperation Council. The meeting room overlooked Seoul's magnificent skyline. Representatives from both species sat around a large table, discussing the future. The first genetic therapy treatments show promising results, Nari reported. Eldurian birth rates have increased 7%, but more importantly, the accompanying emotional therapy program is helping our people connect again. The Eldurian representative nodded approvingly. And what of the cultural exchange initiative? 15 human scientists have visited our homeworld, Nari said, and 20 Eldurian students now study at Earth universities. We're learning from each other. After the meeting, Taiho waited for her outside. They walked together through a park where spring flowers were blooming. The council has asked me to lead the next research phase, Nari told him. It would mean traveling between Earth and Elduria for several years. Taiho looked at her. Will your heart be okay with all that travel? Nari placed her hand over her chest, feeling the now familiar flutter that came whenever she was near him. It no longer hurt. It felt right. My heart is getting stronger every day, she said. I'm learning that some emotions are worth the risk. As cherry blossoms fell around them, two beings from different worlds continued their walk, talking about science, ethics, and possibilities neither of their species had imagined before.